unless I read wrong, you have the Make America Great Again.
Yeah, I do.
I want you to tell me exactly the point in history where America was great.
You know,
As
it's
a
funny.
black man.
Point to me a time in history where America wasn't great. Tell me where it
The birth
starts.
of America.
No, point in America where America wasn't great.
On murder and thievery and deception. What do you mean?
Now let me explain this to you real quick. This is for everybody to listen to. Everybody always have this perception that we shouldn't acknowledge America as being great. America started at a certain point and grew and came better over time. No country that you know of was 100% perfect at the foundation. No country.
You
no
didn't answer my
country in the
question.
world. No countries in Africa, no countries in Europe. You can name it. Everybody started at a certain point, and it became greater
You
over
didn't
time.
answer my question.
Ever since you've been alive, America has been the greatest it's ever been.
You think so?
100%, brother. You can name somewhere else that's better than America, and why don't you live there?
I'm not sure.
I know you're not sure because they don't exist.
Were they?
Show me somewhere else that's as diverse as America. Anywhere.
As diverse?
That's as diverse.
What does diversity mean if people are being
Opportunities for
discriminated
all
against?
people. Show me another country that give opportunities for all people like America.
Do you
does.
think we have the same opportunity as everybody else, as black people?
Yeah, 100%.
With a 200-year economic head start on us and no
What's stopping
reparations?
you now? Aren't you at this university?
Yeah.
You're at the university just like all these white people. How's that any different? Can't you?
I want you to go two blocks that way and tell me
Forget
where
that.
they at.
You can read. You can go to class. You can make good grades. I'm hoping that you're making straight A's. How is America stopping you from doing that? And how is it stopping you from being prosperous enough to go down the street and make a difference in your own community? How is America stopping you from doing that?
Why is it my responsibility to make a difference in my community that was sabotaged from the start?
Let's go back to the foundation.
Do you think the CIA planted drugs in our communities?
They didn't make you sell it.
Do you think they?
No. I agree.
Do you think they burned down
stories of how
black
the CIA,
businesses? Do you know what Black Hollywood is?
Let's go one at a time. I've heard stories that the CIA planted drugs in the inner city communities. Not every black community, but in some. They still don't make you go and sell drugs to your brother, do they? Why are you not selling drugs right now? Because it doesn't make sense for you to do that. You have an opportunity to go to a university, get an education, and make yourself better and make your family better in the next few generations.
The conversation that these two gentlemen are having right now, it made me think of sociological statistics that Jordan Peterson observed, where he saw a governing body impose egalitarianism onto a group of people. And what happens is when you force something on someone, the natural instinct is going to want to rebel. And that's what they saw within these statistics. And that's something that we have within America is freedom to choose to live our lifestyle however we want. And even further, getting into Christianity, that's what's beautiful about Jesus Christ in the Bible is that this is not a love to be forced onto people, because God already naturally knows that you can't force someone to love you, which means he gave us evidence of how much he loves us and invites us into a relationship with him. Now, with that being said, we're not talking about the ways that people perverted Christianity to enslave people, because we could say the same thing of anything that has ever existed, simply that someone evil has come and used it out of context, which means that was not a true representation of that thing to begin with. But also, even if we were living in oppression, the thing about Christianity is that we can still have relationship and freedom to choose our spiritual expression through Jesus Christ and still live free, even though our circumstances say that we are bound. And that's how the love of God can truly bring freedom. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. So let's move on to another section in this video.
You were born in wherever you were born at. Look at you now. What's the difference between you and other people that didn't choose?
Opportunity.
How did you get an opportunity that other people didn't? You were in debt, so you didn't have the money. You didn't have the money to pay for it.
My parents didn't have much, but they had enough to keep me out the hood trying to make some money any way I can. I know people who have no anything. They have to go out there. They have no other choice. They have a horrible education. Do you know what the education system is like here? It's horrible.
Okay, so let's explain it like this. I wanna make sure we talk it at the same level.
All right.
So in America, every single person has an opportunity to do something with what they have in their hand.
And we have nothing in our hands. That's the point.
Let me say this. I believe wholeheartedly that God gives you a hand of cards to play. Hear me out.
God gives you.
Hear me out. God gives you a hand and cards to play. Not everybody's hand is the same. What you can have a full deck of great cards and you play them poorly, you won't make it in life. You can have a bad hand. You play them strategically and you play them right, you'll do good in life. You had a not so good hand growing up where you grew up at. You made positive decisions that led you here. That's the hand you've been dealt. Everybody don't have a freaking silver spoon in their mouth. America is the only place.
They proportionately.
Who is they?
Everybody else, man.
Everybody else like who? Are you saying white people? Brother, you in the same situation as all these white people and you playing the victim.
Am I?
You at the same university?
Am I? What does the same university have to do with anything?
You go to the same classes?
I had a 4.3 GPA in high school. I did what I was supposed to hit. I did what I was supposed to do.
What's your GPA now?
3.6.
Brother, what's holding you back then?
That's the point. Everybody doesn't have a 3.6. Everybody is not.
Did you just get a 3.6 because you woke up one day? You studied, didn't you?
Right, no, I actually didn't.
You didn't study.
No.
So then you have a gift that you can go and make a 3-point something and don't even study.
Right.
Brother, I mean, I don't know. I think we're wasting our time talking to each other. The bottom line is that if you study, you work hard, you play the cards that you're dealt properly, you will be successful. This country makes more millionaires than anywhere in the world. You can talk, Oprah Winfrey came from nothing. Tyler Perry came from nothing. I mean, you go down the list. You go down a list, brother.
Why are you naming rich black people?
Because these are the people.
Why are you naming
what
rich
about me?
black people?
All right, me.
You talking about
me
and you. I'm talking about everybody in the surrounding, everybody outside of this bubble.
Listen, man, you're a product of your decision making. You're an example that you can come from nothing and come to the university.
A product of your decision making when the majority
you
of
came
others
from
are
nothing
a
and you're
product
at the
of their
university.
environment.
What are we saying? You came from nothing, you're at the university. Well, how about you go and teach other young men like you that grew up where you grew up how to do what you did to get here, period.
I just wanted to quickly classify the mistake that this young man is making is that it's simply a mindset. Yes, you can be born into a state of poverty or oppression, but it's a mindset that is going to get you out of that. With that being said, if all we're going to do is make excuses for why we are stuck, then we will always be stuck. But he's a prime example of someone who made it out, and he's advocating for other people to go and teach people that are right down the street. If they're right down the street, maybe create some type of community and save one kid, and maybe that will multiply. But that made me think of a parable in Matthew 25, verses 15 through 18 that I want to read real quick. And it says this: to one, he gave 5 bags of gold, to another 2 bags, and to another 1 bag, each according to his ability. Then he went on his journey. The man who had received 5 bags of gold went at once and put his money to work and gained 5 bags more. So also the one with 2 bags of gold gained 2 more. But the man who had received 1 bag went off, dug a hole in the ground, and hid his master's money. This is a parable talking about we are all given different things within our life, and it's our responsibility to be wise with what it is that we have been given. And that's the mindset that we need to be teaching people, not a mindset of oppression. Now, this is not to ignore the past and the history of certain things that did oppress people, but let's not live in that. Let's teach people to rise up above it, just like you're standing there with that 3.6 GPA. Go and use that education and that knowledge to teach other people how to do the same. 2 Corinthians 2:6 says that today is the day of salvation. I want to encourage you to put your faith, your confidence, and your trust in Jesus Christ, because he's the one that will enable us to be strong no matter what situation we are in or have been born into. The Apostle Paul, he says that he has learned the secret of being content no matter what situation he has been in. He has been rich, he has been poor, he has been in poverty, and he's learned how to stay content through it all, through relationship with his Creator. And it's the Lord that will govern. If we keep in step with him, he will govern our steps in accordance to his will. As Galatians 5:25 says, since we live by Spirit, let us keep in step with Spirit. If we're living under oppression, guess what? Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. If he lives within us, we are free to do his will and to proclaim the truth. With that being said, put your faith and trust in Jesus Christ. Be blessed.